assembly station. We actually just installed it a couple years ago. All of these devices are used to prevent the backflow of water, out to the public. So once it passes, there's certain check valves in here. Once it passes certain check valves, the check valves will not allow it to get back out to the public to harm the public. So you have everything from these are all backflow preventer assemblies, and this is actually a pressure reducer. You have some from a vacuum breaker to a double check RPZ. Essentially, they're all doing the same thing, just to stop the backflow of contaminated water possibly. And then there's this is like an example of the gauges we use. Yep, all those the hoses will get hooked to these ports, and you can test them. And once a year they do need tested, so to make sure they're up and working.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat. Most of the time it's out of sight, out of mind for most companies and buildings, and tucked away. And
but if it ain't working,
that's right. Yeah, so not a lot of people get to see them out, out in front for the public to see. But
well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We do a 5-year apprenticeship program in the United Association.
Yeah, I know.
2,000 hours a year on the job training, and right here in the classrooms.
Yep.
Which is just fantastic.
I don't know these guys. I don't know the press knows. That's 5 years. First year, you get paid what, $28, something like that.
It's a little bit lower.
A little lower.
Yeah, around here.
Depending on the city.
Yeah.
Depending on the
But
city.
every year that number goes up, so they're getting paid while they're learning.
Yes.
And these guys spend $250 million doing it. $250,000 a year. The union spends on the training program, and it's a big deal. So that's their money. Nobody else can take the money of the training.
You have to get some.
It's a little lot of money.
I know. I know that. Sorry, guys. I don't know
McDowell Press segment.
We took over the Erie area. We took over 9 counties in 2013. So we have all of Western Pennsylvania. Yeah, and that's, we've talked about changing it to Western Pennsylvania. The old timers found home. I don't want to hear it. So we do there's a sign in here somewhere that says Pittsburgh and Western Pennsylvania. We couldn't sell the old members on changing the name of the logo. After 125 years, they won't keep the same.
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
This is Bill Carl.
Bill, how are you, pal?
Good.
He's our marketing representative.
Good to see you. And what you got here?
Now, these are, I guess, mainly what they wanted to talk about was the soldering projects. You know, we do soldering and brazing. It's a big part of our field.
Yep.
To do it properly, to make it last. You know, they take it from, there's a bunch of different projects that the apprentices do as they come through here, and they have to go off the drawings, you know, and they have to
Yep.
build it to look like the drawing, to be presentable, you know, and just do it correctly. Now, brazing, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the brazing. Some of these are a little bit ugly, but brazing is an ugly process. But what it does is it's a very strong pipe
Yeah.
when a joint's put together, and we use it a lot in the medical gas field. And that's one of our biggest things is working on medical gas. You know, so that's for that. And when we do medical gas, it
Medical
actually gets
gas, you
purged.
mean used in hospitals?
Life-sustaining
Yeah.
systems in hospitals. Yes.
Absolutely. Got good medical gas legislation in a lot of good states. In
Yeah.
some states, they're trying to gut the medical gas legislation. We're always fighting for good codes, you know, for the plumbers to have a code underneath them. It's so important. You've seen the catastrophes when you don't have good plumbing codes out there. Delaware, you come from, it's a fantastic state on our codes there.
Well, you know, everybody thinks I'm joking. If every investment banker in New York went on strike, nothing would much change in America. If every plumber decided to stop work, every electrician, country comes to a halt.
Mhm.
I mean, literally, not figuratively, literally, comes to the damn halt.
We take the pride in the plumbing community, right? Plumbers protect the health of the nation. But I also kid some of my family members who wanted to the medical profession. My daughter's going in there. I said, plumbers have saved more lives than doctors. Do you have clean sanitary and clean water? You think about the hundreds of years in this country, and God bless the scientists and the doctor community, especially today in this environment. But boy, oh boy, the unsung heroes, the plumbers of the world and the construction workers of the world that for these facilities. We put tents up in the Javits Center. We did it, the
Yeah.
building trades. We did it all down Washington, D.C., all, you know, in the convention center in Washington, D.C. when the pandemic hit. We were, you know, a lot of people want to take credit, but the building trades stepped up. That's what we do.
Exactly right. And by the way, look at we have about 400,000 miles of gas pipeline in America. Built most of it in 1960. Needs to be replaced, repaired, needs to be welded, needs to be changed, needs a new pipe. I mean,
Well, that's all part of the infrastructure that you talk about and they talk about.
yeah, but
it's
you know,
only-
what I don't get, the press is probably tired of hearing me say, but what I really don't get is why they don't understand, why it doesn't make sense to invest in the infrastructure. It helps business dramatically. It helps public safety, public health. It moves and prevailing wage. When you get a prevailing wage, everything grows.
Yep.
You may remember, I was in charge of the Recovery Act, which was $800 billion.
We're late.
Hey, how you doing, Edwin?
We're always late.